wanted to define some of these behaviors, and we can see through these primate-like behaviors of what these people do. Just want you to watch them. Watch them and see what they do. I'll watch my stuff. Just watch them. I'm caught in the middle of something right now where an individual that originally had me mentally programmed, he knew that he could mentally program me to serving him. Simply because he believed that he was superior to me. And I want to go into defining this, because I can see, we as primates, arguably, I posted something about this earlier, but arguably there's a attribute of us having the constant domination of learning dominance in a means that does not necessarily have to do with acquiring food. And this might come from a common ancestor, because we see this in other primates too, where they'll fight for dominance and things like this. But in my case, I was psychologically programmed for a long time in my life. And the case that I'm dealing with right now is that I refuted this belief in this person. So my theory, and at this point it's just a theory because I don't want to go making claims that without any evidence, that I am indeed being, this person has formulated an aspect of which he used to explain to me how he would carry it out. But I was basically programmed the entire time. I'm not happy about this, but through it's more like sexual servitude. So it's more of like I didn't want to have sex with him, but I knew that I would have to, or not even sexual. I hardly did have sex with this person, but I would have to give him sexual offerings to almost serve him, and I would often terrorize people to serve him. So what I'm trying to do right now is, because of all this person formulated an aspect of taking my job from me. He successfully took my job from me. He also, he manipulated and orchestrated a whole dynamic of issuance with trying to make it so that I was unemployed, which he had told me was his task from the beginning. Which isn't, because he is aware, although he was able to successfully control me. Now I also want you to identify those Jungian archetypes as well. So they're playing on archetypes. When you kind of notice these archetypes that he's putting into place here. Now what he assumes, this is why I'm not going to go wildly claiming things, because I don't want to go making claims. It's going to do exactly what he intends, which is that I will sound crazy. That I will appear to be crazy. If he can successfully manifest himself without him actually being there, which he can do in the form of Jungian archetypes, of visual archetypes he tends to utilize, which are intended to drive me nuts, because he knows that I cannot prove And whilst in this, the whole idea is to eventually acquire world domination, which he knows that he could acquire by two simple facets of existence that are purely based on primate evolution, which is that he can manipulate me successfully with sex and money, or he can manipulate them successfully with sex and money. He knows at this point he cannot successfully manipulate me with sex and money, but he can manipulate them with sex and money, which are two primate attributes that we see. So my goal here is to provide evidence so we can see that these Jungian archetypes and this manifestation are indeed being utilized. That he takes two primate-driven factors and he's actually using them. So what are these two primate factors? Two primate factors. I hypothesize that the identity, the whole aspect of predatory behavior, which we can see in other mammals, may often stem from dominance in terms of, but it's oftentimes it is intertwined with food. So food acquisition of meat. But we see in primates is this aspect of this aspect of dominance that isn't meat-based. And there are animals as well that hold this that aren't primates, that will just kill to kill and prey to prey. But this is something that humans do and many primates do. So this person knows that he can successfully manipulate the psyche, and when again pay attention to these archetypes, that he can manipulate the psyche of any person by manipulating them with the idea of sex and money. Because they are primates, and with this hierarchy of money, this is again this hierarchical aspect of I want you to notice this. We see this. Now it's difficult to prove that specimen because he could have just been a guy, and this is one of the things that this individual uses, is that he knows that he can successfully make it appear that I am crazy in my belief. In that he can take generalized attributes such as a guy, because many of these guys that he uses are either highly compositive of many drugs, or they're somehow subservient to him. They might not hold the intelligence to be able to do such a thing. And therefore, he can easily control them. The whole acquisition of all of these things is that he'll eventually redefine the gender, the human, well, not just even the gender of men. He wants to make it so that he is the only man that can acquire women, that he's the only man that has the ability to reproduce, which he used to describe to me genital mutilation. But his whole aspect of this was also based on just general control. Okay. And look at that archetype too. Notice the archetype. Now we can look at these archetypes when we see them, and they can be interpreted however you may. But I want to show you the correlation between these. Okay.